Dear students, in this assignment, we are going to learn about correlation visualization using Tableau. The data set we are going to use for this assignment is pre-built within Tableau. So please open your new window of Tableau, and within that there should be something named Save Data Sources, and it is the first data source. So please go ahead and click on the sample superstore. It will take few seconds to load. Awesome, it directly took me to the sheet number 1. Let's go to our data source. It will take few seconds to load. So awesome, understanding the structure of the data. Again, looks like there are 3 separate sheets. First one is your order sheet, second one is your people sheet, and third one is your return sheet. Yeah, and again looks like there are some tags, people tags, return tags, and and so on. And looks like there are some relationships over here. Yeah, so between orders and people there is a common linkage. Yeah, looks like region. In this case, orders and people are correlated based on region, and between orders and return it's correlated based on order ID, I guess. Awesome, that's good to know. Something more is there are 20 different fields within this data set. Yeah, so within this order sheet there are 20 different fields, meaning 20 different columns, and 10,194 rows, vertical rows. If I do the same for my second one, that is people sheet, over here there is 1 field and 4 rows. So the 1 field is regional manager, and it is identified as text ABC, and here are the categories. Yeah, 4. Yeah, looks like the names of the managers are given over here. Third one is your returns. So the third sheet, returns, there is 1 field and 800 number of rows over here, and again the field is returned, and looks like it's more of a binary. All I can see is yes, there might be few no's over here, and if it is 800 I can only browse 100 at a time. I can change this to 800 and enter. Awesome, I can see them all. But yeah, looks like these are the several options available, yeah, between the 3 sheets. So good to know. I'll go back to where I was. 20 fields, 10,195 rows. Now moving forward with our first visual creation. So I'm going to my sheet number 1. Looks like within the orders, these are the several columns we have: customer name, location, order ID, and so on. Within people, yeah, this is the one field we have, that is the column and the names of the people, and returns, yeah, returns as well as yes or no, binary kind of thing. So yeah, awesome, that's good to know. With that said, we are ready to build our first visual. For that, what I'm going to do is I need to try and understand if there is any correlation between sales and profit. Yeah, so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my sales into my columns, and I'm going to drag the profit into my rows. Awesome. So Tableau did its thing, and it's plotted 1 dot over here. And again, by default, Tableau always go by aggregation, meaning the point I'm seeing here is the sum. You see the sum of sales, sum of profit. Yeah, so again, this is sum of all the entities or all the values, all the data points within that given set of data. So again, this is sum of, so the sum of profit is 292, 297, and sum of sales is 2.3 million dollars. Yeah, and the reason is it goes by aggregation. So I won't see multiple points over here. It's aggregated sum of all. Other way to look at it is I will go to this analysis tab, and you see this check mark. The aggregated measure says check mark. So that's what I'm seeing. It goes by aggregation, meaning it aggregates everything, sums up everything. Yeah. So if one way to look at the individual data points is if I go and uncheck this thing, check mark. Now I'm seeing each and every data point. Yeah. So at profit 3177, my sales were these. My profit of 1352, my sales were these. My profit of negative 3702, my sales were these. Yeah. So these are the individual points I'm going. Yeah. So again, let me go back to where I was. So I'm going to undo it. Yeah. So again, I am back at the aggregation. Now let's see if there are few more ways to get the same level of detail. So for example, if I take the first one, that is order ID, and drag it to my detail over here, let's see what I get. I get the exact same points for each and every point that I saw when I uncheck this aggregate measures. The reason is that order ID is unique for each and every order within the data set. To validate that or verify it, I will go to this data source, and the very first field I have, or the very first column I have, is order ID. And if I quickly scroll through, looks like there is a unique order ID for each and every order that was processed. And that's the reason why when I move or when I drag this order ID into my detail, I will get a very high level of detail. So again, if I hover my mouse on any of these dot over here, so the very first set of information is order ID, unique one, and the profit is 2825, 8805 is the sales. For example, here the order ID is this, profit is negative 1862, sales are 4298, and so on. So again, I'm getting the same level of detail for the given order ID. So yeah, that's one way to look at it. Let's play around and see some more pieces of information. Yeah, so again, I will undo, take the order ID out. Now suppose if I want to see a location level, yeah, so if I go with say state level, yeah, so if I drag the state / province into my detail, let's see what I get. I will see much more lesser number of points as compared to the order ID, because these are based on the few state within all those orders were there. Yeah, so for example, if I hover my mouse on this, it is telling me the country region is United States, state is New York, profit is 74,039, and sales is this much. If I hover my mouse over here, it says it's North Carolina, profit is negative 7491, and the sales are 55,603. Similarly, other state as well, if I hold my mouse. So I'm getting to this level of detail, which is country and state province, because that's how the data is structured when the data file that is being loaded in this Tableau file. Now, if I go back and if I want to say a country, yeah, so if I drag the country region within my details, awesome, I'm getting only 1 point that is aggregated, because looks like there is only one country involved in this data set, which is our United States. I will undo again. So something more is this time if I want to go to city, say, if I drag the city in detail, I'm getting much more points as compared to states, because yeah, obviously there are more number of cities in each states. And when I hold my mouse on each of this circle over here, I'm getting the city is Los Angeles, country is United States, state is California, profit is 30,441, and sales is 175,851. Similarly, it's Denver, and negative profit negative 245, sales are these, and so on. San Antonio, and so on. Yeah, so awesome. This is another way to drag and enter the details. Here, drag each of these entity into the details and get the necessary charts over here. So I will uncheck over here and go to all the data that is there. Yeah. So again, we know the order ID is unique for each and every order. So I'll just drag that order ID into my detail. Yeah. So again, since each order ID is unique and it's a alphabetical like a B, C, D, it won't be able to aggregate it. So it has to show uniquely. So that's how we got this chart over here. Something more is, well, again, correlation analysis. In simple terms, correlation is nothing but you are trying to see if there is any strong relation between any two different entities, any two entities. In our case, it's sales and profit. So you want to see if there is any correlation, whether it is negative, positive, or no correlation between sales and profit. Yeah. So again, just looking at this plotted data series, I will say there is high density data over here. So lots of points are around this cluster over here, and I see some level of high density line being formed over here. So something over here. But again, there are many points which are going like everywhere, especially in this V portion over here. Most of the data are there. But again, I see strong high density points over here. Yeah. So that's the first place where I will start thinking about correlation analysis. So just quickly look at the data, and visually it looks like this is a strong trend forming over here. So the next step for me to look into it is currently I'm in the data pane. I will move to this analytics pane. And within this, there is this summary or summarize portion of the values, which we'll be learning shortly. Then there is this model, and there is this custom. So within this model, let's try and drag a trend line over here. Yeah. So one way to do it is I just drag this trend line. By default, it will take a linear one. Second one is, I undo it and drag this trend line, and before dropping it, I will check on some of these options. Yeah. So for example, if I go with say polynomial, awesome, it will try to fit in to multiple points or groups of points over here. So that's how the polynomial line trend is looking like. But for us, let's stick with our linear one. Yeah. So the linear one. So like we said, again, I'm seeing a strong cluster over here, and there is like high density line forming over here. So this is what I'm getting. Yeah. So this is the linear regression trend line which I'm getting. And if I hover my mouse on this line, I can see the linear correlation equation that says profits equals to 0.175 times sales plus negative 22.7792. Yeah, so that's the equation as per Tableau auto calculation. And again, the R squared value is 23.77%. And the p value is statistically significant. It's 0.0001. So that's how I will be interpreting this trend line which I drew using this Tableau software. In the next sheet, let's try and create a correlation matrix. For that, I'm going to, well, firstly I name this sheet as correlation dash linear. Next, I'm going to duplicate the same sheet, add a duplicate, and I'm going to take off this order ID for now. Now I'm going to create a duplicate version. So just see what I'm doing here. So again, currently I have rows as profit and columns as aggregated sales. I'm going to add a layer of profit again into my columns over here. And similarly, I'm going to add a layer of sales into my rows. So I drag the sale back into my rows. So again, it created a 2 by 2 matrix, which is profit sales, profit sales. On top of it, I'm going to add one more layer of quantity and see if there is any correlation. I will discuss more about it shortly. But again, I'm dragging this quantity into my columns and dragging this quantity in my rows again. As of now, I'm just going to see a single point over here because as per Tableau, it's going to aggregate. So when I go into my analysis, this part is check marked. If I uncheck, I'll see each and every data point on these. Another way to do it is I will go back. I don't want to uncheck the aggregation from Tableau, just so that any future measures I add, they will be aggregated. Similar to what we have seen in the previous sheet, I'm going to drag the order ID which are unique into my level of detail. Once I do that, I'll see the exact sheet which I'll see the exact data points, numerous, all of them, which I saw by unchecking the analysis. Yeah. So here what I'm seeing is profit, sales, quantity, profit, sales, quantity, a 3 by 3 matrix. And just a point to be noted over here is this, meaning profit versus profit is always going to be a like one-on-one related, a strong correlation, because it's the same point being plotted on X and Y. Same is the case for sales, is going to be a perfectly correlated. Same is the case for quantities, is going to be perfectly correlated. Yeah, so again, this is the equation I'm getting. Quantity equals to 1 times quantity plus 0, meaning it's perfect. R squared is 1. On the other hand, if I try to see if there is any correlation between profit and sales, so again, looks like most of the cluster is over here, and looks like the line that Tableau was able to draw, auto detect and automatically line, looks like it's headed towards more of a positive correlation, meaning as the sales increases profit and vice versa, meaning as the profit increases sales also increases. Yeah, so that's what an inference I'm able to make over here. Similarly, when I see profit versus quantity, well, I'm seeing a different story over here. So if as my profit increases, not necessarily the quantities increases, or on the other hand, if my quantity increases from say 0 to 20 to 40, looks like my profit is more or less constant. So looks like this is more of a flat correlation or flat trend rather than actual correlation. So it doesn't look like there is a strong correlation over here. Although the line says that there is a significant p-value, the level of significance is very strong, meaning is 0.0001, but the R square tells me a story. So again, as per the statistical theory, if the R square is close to 1.0 or between 0.9 to 1.0, there is a strong correlation. So that kind of theory is exactly holding true over here, meaning the R square is near 0, close to 0. So that infers that there is no strong correlation, although line is Tableau is doing its best job, best guess to draw this line. But yeah, the equation and the R square is telling me the true story, meaning as the quantity increases, not necessarily the profit increases. Similarly, if I try to correlate and see if there is any correlation between quantities and sales, looks like as the quantity increases, doesn't not necessarily the sale increases, although there is a small cluster over here. And I think that's the reason why this line is being dragged on this side rather than going straight. It's trying to be dragged on this side because of this cluster over here. But again, the R square is, I'll say close to 0 rather than 1.0. Yeah, but this is how I'll be correlating. Similarly, for sales and quantity, same thing what we saw over here, just horizontally. So it looks like there is a strong cluster over here. So as the quantity increases, well, not necessarily the sale strongly increases. Looks like this is also more of a flat. Yeah, it's directly dependent on the quantities. Yeah, so most of the quantities are like a low volume sold, and again it can hold true if there is an electronic item, say a TV of $500 or $1,000, or a mobile phone being sold out, right? iPhone or a Samsung Galaxies, each of them are costly, right? $1,000, $1,100, $1,200. So yeah, maybe the volume is low and so on. So maybe that's the reason why we are seeing this. And here, if I try to read the correlation between profit and sales, looks like, yeah, just like what we saw over here, a strong cluster in this direction. Most of the sales are on the lower end or between 0 to 10K, or it's more of a 0 to 6K ish. Yeah, 5,600K ish. Most of them are clustered over here, but there are few over here also. And this looks more of a systematic line. So maybe this is more or less like a true linear. This is how I'll be interpreting. And this cluster, this graph is very similar to this, just it's horizontally laid down. So it looks like even this trend is a flat trend. There is no strong correlation between quantity and profit. So this is how I will be reading it. And yeah, so this is a 3x3 matrix of correlation I created. Suppose you have some additional values, additional parameters you want to add into it. For example, if I say if there is any effect of discount on profit, sales and quantity, so I can try adding a discount layer to my column and similarly discount layer to my rows. So once I do that, again there is one more discount versus discount, so this has to be perfectly correlated. But on the other hand, it's adding one more layer. Yeah, so this is a discount and this is a discount. So if I try to compare discount versus profit, doesn't look like, so again, even if the discount increases, see here the discount is 0.2% versus here the discount is 3.2%. But still there is no significant increase in profit. And in fact, overall trend looks like there is a negative correlation. Yeah, so that's what I'm reading over here. That's the overall. But again, yeah, the R square is close to 0.067. So that doesn't tell me a real story. But again, that's what I'm interpreting. Yeah, so again, you see within few seconds, few clicks here and there, I'm able to get this entire 4x4 matrix of analysis, which on a pen and a paper, if I had used statistical methods on a paper and a pen and a calculator, it would have taken me few hours to get this. Yeah. So in coming back, what we are interpreting, so discount versus profit is what we saw. Then if I check discount versus sale, same, like even if the discount increases say from 0 to 3.3, I don't see a strong growth in sales. Yeah, although there is a strong cluster of sales from almost 0 until somewhere over here 7,000. Beyond that, I don't see there is a strong correlation. Same is the case with quantity. In fact, it's going everywhere. Yeah. So again, even if the discount is near 0 over here, the quantities sold are high. That's shown in this cluster over here. And even if my discount is high, the quantities, yeah, like sold are low over here and a high over here. So again, I don't see a strong correlation. Yeah, so that's how I'll be interpreting these 4x4 matrix. And something more is, again, this is like I have this much space available, and Tableau is showing me in a standard view, so I can make this bigger and use entire view. Now by that, again, this will spread out and use the entire screen space. But this is how I'll be interpreting the correlation matrix. So let me rename this sheet as correlation RIX 4x4. Similarly, next chart we are going to build is the box plot chart. For that, I'm going to start a new sheet. And here in the box plot, I'm going to start with regions, drag it down all the way to the columns, and I'm going to drag the discount into my rows. So as soon as I do it, I'm getting this bar graph over here. Let me go over here, say in show me, and try to activate box plot. Awesome. So for oh sorry, it kind of moved along. It region went to the detail, but again this is a good interpretation. So here for the region, I'm seeing the discount aggregated like a discount one, and it's a box plot created. What I'm seeing over here is when I hover my mouse over here, it's telling me the median is 391. The upper whisker, which is this one, is the value is 562.7. Lower whisker is 238.5, and doesn't look like there is any outlier in this case. And let me drag this region over here. Awesome. It kind of mixed up many things. One more thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my analysis and uncheck this aggregate value. As soon as I do it, I see a much more detailed view of each of the region, which is central, eastern, south, and west. And for central, again, this is more of a comparative. Looks like the range of discount in the central region is high, the highest being 30%. Well, for majority of them, the actual higher is this upper whisker, which is 70% or 0.7. You see when I hold my mouse, I see it over here. Lowest whisker is 0%, lower hinge is also 0%, median is 20%, and upper hinge, which is this, is 30%, as compared with the east, south, and west, where the upper the upper hinge is 20% each of them. In this case, for each, the upper whisker is 40%. Here, the upper whisker is 45%. Here, the upper whisker is 20%, as well as upper hinge is also 20%, and all three have lows of 0. So this is much more detailed view. And as per the statistical theory, any point that lies beyond this upper whisker is an outlier. So in this case, there is one outlier. In this case, east there are 1, 2, 3, 3 outliers. South there are 2, and west there are 2. Yeah, so this is how I'll be interpreting the box plots between region and discount offered. Yeah, so for discount. On top of it, similar to what we did over here, if I want to create a matrix of this, so all I will do is I will add another layer, say profit into my row. And now I'm seeing a 2 by 1 matrix, which is region by profit and discount. Yeah, again I have selected these, but looks like for profit the variability is very high, so this isn't looking like very maybe box plot is not an ideal representation to read the data over here. Maybe the linear regression was, but yeah, I'm just showing you some an example over here. Similarly, if I want to add one more layer, say sales, if I add if I add sales over here and take it over here, awesome. This is what I'm seeing, and here also I'll click one more time here, and again these are the box and whisker plots I'm getting for all three, which is a discount, profit, and sales for the 4 regions. And something more is let me use the entire view. So when I do that, awesome, it gets expanded and I see a much more detailed view. Although I still think based on the current data, the way it is, the way the collected data is, since like maybe for discount, it's wise to use the box and whisker plot. And for profit, the actual box is very small. I think for profit as well as sales, versus the points that lie above the upper whiskers are like extremely high. For all the sales, like, or for all the 4 regions, and for profit, I think it's both way, upper and down. Yeah, so again, the actual upper and lower whiskers, the space is very small for this, and like there are more number of outliers. So again, in this case, I really think that maybe for profit and sales, the box and whisker plots are not the right ones to use, but yeah, just showing you how this can be done. Yeah, so this is how you will be creating a single whisker plot with the way we saw just for discount and the 4 regions, and added couple more layers, that is profit and sales over here. With that said, let's go ahead and save this file. I'm going to say save as. Let's name it as correlation matrix and box plot chart. I say TABLEAU 2.1. Say correlation MATRIX and box plot PLOT. Save it, and this one also upstairs being saved. Let's give it a few seconds, and here also let me change the name of this as Boxplot MATRIX. So awesome, 3 sheets created. Let's quickly assemble these all these sheets into a dashboard. And again, we are just initiating here. Also, we won't be doing a lot of formatting. We're just getting into the dashboard mode. So yeah, just click create a dashboard one, and looks like these 3 sheets are ready to be added to the dashboard. And again, this the very first sheet, that is correlation linear, is already a part of correlation matrix. So again, I won't be worried about it. So let me drag this correlation and drag it completely. Awesome. This looks like the sheet as is for now. On top of it, let me go ahead and add this box plot matrix. Let me try to fit in sideways. If I do that, maybe this is a good representation, or I can still try to move it around. Maybe I'll take it down here. Maybe this looks too busy, or maybe yeah, this is good enough. Yeah, so I have 2 layers here, and similar to what we did previously, I'm going to center this out. Again, I can do it over here itself. Select all, and I'm not doing major changes, so I just make this 20 bolder. Same, I'll keep the text type as same Tableau book, and let's center it out. Apply, looks great. Same is the case over here. So make sure you select this 20 bold, center, apply. Looks great. In fact, maybe we already know this is a region, so again we can double click, or we can go within here, and yeah, within formatting we can change it, or for now we'll keep it. Let's not worry a lot about the formatting here. Later on, when we'll be building the visualizations, we'll be deep diving into some really good formatting exercises. But overall, this is how I assembled this dashboard. And on top of it, if I want to add a title, I will just go over here and add a text. Maybe drag this text part over here, fit in here. Now it is asking what I wanted. So let me call it as Tableau correlation and box plot matrix. Yeah, so let's call it as Tableau dashboard. correlation MATRIX and Boxplot matrix. And yeah, it's too small as of now. Let me make it 20, or since these two are 20, let me make this as 24 and bold it out, center it. Let's see how I see. Oh, maybe I can make it 22. Maybe I'll try to make this in a single line. Good to know. Well, we are doing trial and error as of now. So if I make it 22, say, click OK, still not fitting. Let me try to make it 20, 2, 0. Awesome, this fits into a single one. In that case, another idea I have is, let's make this smaller. Instead of having this as, since we know the title is 20, let's make this as, say, 16. Apply. Looks good. I think it's more proportional now. 16. Awesome. So great. 2 sheets we have within this dashboard. And the next part is, yeah, either you go and say full screen, generate desktop browser, full screen web page, custom. Probably I'll go with custom, but yeah, let's see. Well, full screen is this. I know mine goes to 1600 and 860 something. So let me try full screen. Well, not the best. In that case, I'll just use this as 1600 width well, that's what my screen size fits the best, and say 860. Awesome. Well, I think this can still go beyond, so I'll say 1625 and 625. Awesome. And maybe I'll make this as 870. You can also follow and try to fit in to the best you can, but yeah, this is how technically it's done. So I'll save this again. This looks good. Well, since my this has widened, maybe I think if I make these even bigger, I think this time it should work, say 28. Okay, awesome. So this is my title, Tableau dashboard. Drag it down, dashboard, correlation matrix and Boxplot. And well, I'm a fan of numbers, so I'll just say this is Tableau dashboard 2.1 and space correlation matrix. If I click OK, awesome, it still fits. So this is great. Save it again. And if I do go on a full screen mode, awesome, this looks great. If I hold my mouse on each of this, it's still, I can still view all those numbers and linear graphs and so on. Also for the box plots, I can see what are the upper viscous, lower viscous, mean, median, the median, upper, and so on. So this is great. I will come out of the full screen mode. Now the next part is publishing, right? So like I said, let's go to data. I haven't created extract yet, so I'll go to data. Sample superstore is the main source file. I will go to extract data. Just say extract. Yeah, it's creating this data extract dot hyper file. I'm going to save it where it. Oh, sorry, I don't want to overwrite over here. So superstore, I'll say 1. So save. Awesome, that extract is saved. Now I will go to my server. Oh, it's still being saved. Awesome, looks like it is saved. This time doesn't look like I'm signed in, so no worries. Let's go to Tableau public. I'll say save to Tableau public as. As soon as I do it, yeah, it's taking me to the sign in page. For some of you, you might see this small window popping up, and it might take you forever. So do not worry, just be patient. Even it happens to me also. Awesome. Oh, luckily it got done this time. So yeah, let me put in the yeah. Paste it. Remember me. Yeah, Korea, that's correct. It's linking to my Tableau public profile. Saving workbook. Awesome. Soon it should open in my web browser. So that is a confirmation that everything went well correctly. Awesome. It opened on my other page. So I'm just dragging it over here. Awesome. So this has already been published on my Tableau public profile, and you see this is the link I'm seeing. So for you also, in order for you to get these points, yeah, take a screenshot, go over here, click, sorry, the actual dashboard. So open this, take a screenshot of this, save it on your computer with a name, say Tableau dashboard 2.1 correlation matrix and so on. Save it and upload this as a file in the space provided within the canvas, and at the same time click on this share, copy link, and yeah, the link is copied, paste it into the given space within your canvas to submit the link, and you will be getting the full points for these. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you learned a lot and enjoy doing this Tableau assignment. And yeah, well, frankly, Tableau is fun. The more you do, more better you get at it. So thank you so much for your time and attention. You all are doing fantastic job on this whole Tableau course. So thanks very much. I appreciate your hard work. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.